Hi, my name is Leslie Bockenstedt and I'm with Message in a Fold. Today I'm going to talk to you about an industrial paper cutter. This is not something that every crafter will need to have, but for those of you that do a lot of cutting of chipboard and paper pads, you might consider looking into this type of a paper trimmer. And I will tell you, this sucker is heavy. Looking at the industrial paper cutter from this angle, you will see this bar. This handle, when you turn it, oops, I went the wrong way. It raises this bar so that you can put whatever you're going to cut, and you can cut about a ream of paper with this cutter. You raise it up and then you insert whatever you're going to cut. And this paper pad is 11 by 17. And it will fit under there for me to cut. The cutting blade is on the other side, and I'll get to that in just a moment. This you can screw down. This is a guide. I want to cut this entire paper pad in half lengthwise. So I'm going to set the guide at 5.5 inches. And there is a measuring guide up along the top here, as well as along the edge. Also on the surface are cutting guides for different sizes of paper, cardboard, whatever it is that you want to cut. You unscrew this, and this will move wherever you want it to go. And I want to set it at 5.5. There is the 5.5 inch mark. Now I'm going to tighten this down on that line. Alright, now that's not going anywhere. This is the handle that will raise and lower the cutting blade. And this has a safety feature. When the handle is fully raised and the blade is fully raised, there's a locking mechanism on the back here that will hold this handle up and locked into position, so when you're moving stuff underneath you don't cut off your fingers. And this is how it works. And this is not like, you can't raise this with your fingers. You have to apply some. You have to pull to get it up, and it's locked into place. Now, that's not going anywhere, so you don't have to worry about cutting your fingers off. The only way that you can lower the handle is you have to pull this back, and you have to press this lever, and then you can put the handle down. That's a very good safety feature. Alright, now I'm going to show you what the blade looks like. Alright, right down here is the blade, and as I lift up you can see the blade moving up. It's locked into place, and you can see that the blade is not going down. Once I press the lever, then you can see the blade going down. On the back side of this machine, on this side of this paper cutter, there is a plastic shield. Oh, that does come off. It's separate in the box and you have to attach it. But this is also something to keep your fingers out from where the blade is. And there's the blade right in there. This is like an extra little table. Let's see. Let me raise the blade. And I'm going to put the thing I want to cut inside. All right, I'll put it through from this side. Okay. If you're cutting this way, then your excess will rest on this little arm. But I'm going to cut this at 5.5 inches. And before I cut it, I need to put the pressure plate down on top of the paper. All right, here is the hand mechanism that makes the pressure plate come down, and as you can see, it's lowering down to the top there. Before I tighten it fully down, I want to make sure that I am up against this stop at the 5.5 inches, and then I'm going to finish putting the plate down, the pressure plate down. I'm going to finish tightening the paper press down. Now you can't see the blade from this side, but you can see that my paper is inside, it's being held. I don't have to hold it with my hands and work the thing. This machine is doing the work for me. Now we'll come over to the side so you can see the cutting action. Okay, the blade is up and I need to release the handle, so I'll press that and I'll start lowering the blade. Okay, you have to apply a lot of pressure. Whoa, I nearly tipped my table over. Better get this off the table better. Okay. And there's the cut. And here are the two halves of the entire pad of paper, chipboard back and all. It's cut through them both. Now I want to cut this in half again because I'm going to need a double stack of this paper for the project I'm going to be doing. Now I need to cut one length at 8.5 inches. So I need to move my guide over to 8.5 inches. Okay. My blade is up, so I'm going to feed the paper through from under the blade, and I'm going to set it in there. And I'm going to lower the pressure plate. Now we're going to cut. I'm going to move you over here on this side, and hopefully this will go a little bit better. And you see the pad is resting on here. When it's cut, it will stay on the base here and rest on there. Let's hope it's not going to go crashing to the floor. All right. Press the release lever, and then it's cut through, and that held it. And it looks like I got a little bit of a crooked cut on the top there. So let's try that again with this other one. I'm going to put it in at 8.5. I'm going to lower the pressure plate. Okay. All right, let's try this again. Okay, I had to back off 1/4 of an inch, and I measured, I put the thing at 8 1/4 instead of 8.5, and hopefully you can see that I do have a straight cut this time. It's a nice straight cut instead of the crooked cut that I had the last time. But I can still use this. I can use this on something else. I'm not discarding it. My husband bought this for me for Christmas. This was my Christmas present. He bought it on eBay. I'm not quite sure who he bought it from. He told me, but I can't remember. This is called, as close as I can tell, an 858 Perfect A4 paper cutter. And it should have a, you'll have to buy the stand separately. And it does need to have its own place to live. And currently mine lives on the floor because I have no place to put it in my craft room. And that's another story for another day. So if you're interested in an industrial paper trimmer, check them out and see what they are. This was $149 before shipping. And like I said, this is heavy. This thing weighs about 45 pounds. Outside of the box. So the box and all of the styrofoam and everything that came with it and the packing, this thing probably weighs about 50 pounds. And this area right here, this is the bulk of the weight. The weight is not distributed throughout the entire thing. It is all right here. And this machine is all metal. This is the only plastic right here. That's the only plastic on this whole machine. Oh, I lied. On the guide is plastic as well as the knob. And this thing is plastic. But everything else is all solid metal. And it is one heavy sucker. Whoa. That's one tragic woman. Okay, I hope that you have learned something about my new tool. And hopefully I have explained how it works well enough that you might consider purchasing one as well, if you need one. If you like what you've seen, give me a thumbs up. And leave a comment below. I appreciate your comments. And you can always stop by my blog at Message in a Fold on WordPress. and I'll leave a link to my blog. And if you don't like this, then, oops, that's the wrong way. If you don't like this, then you can feel free to give me a thumbs down. All right, thank you. Now, go show someone how special they are. Bye.